all about Symbian and Mobile Industry Review.
Hi Rafe, my name is Chris Davidson and I'm a Program Manager at Symbian Foundation, and I work as effectively a coordinator between all the delivery management, technology management, marketing and communications. I'm a general runaround and firefighter. Well, it's been a wonderful process, a most amazing one that I just feel absolutely privileged to be part of. What we had to do initially was look at the code that was being made public, things like patents, third-party IP, the actual license headers, making sure that they were a public license, and we weren't obviously making any mistakes with what we were putting out there in the public domain. A very large-scale activity. That was step number one, and then we moved on to having to work within corporate processes, particularly within Nokia, who, you know, I can't speak highly enough of here. We're talking about, in the final push, over 108 packages moving through a requirements process inside Nokia. They have phones to ship, they have many other things to do besides just Symbian Foundation. And we had to work very closely with Nokia to get through that requirements process and get all the teams completing the work. From there, it developed also into there were some changes in ownership of packages, and we had to work with some third parties like Ixynos, taking ownership of packages from Nokia. Once again, ways of working, how we work with third parties, with Nokia, with the community. We had to go through that process. You can imagine there's a lot of legal involved, approvals, OKs, things like that. So there's a lot of formalities at the very beginning. The process then moved on to be very much sort of a coordination activity, not just with Nokia and all the package owners, but internally, planning the messaging, planning the communications. It gave us a real issue to deal with, because we want to be open in everything that we do, but we also don't want to disappoint. And we were struggling very much with, should we let the messaging out as we do it, or should we keep it relatively quiet so that we actually deliver some hard code that people can touch, see and play with. So yeah, it was an internal coordination activity that went on, and we had a number of program teams that would meet on a regular basis, and above all of that we had a steering group which was between Nokia and Symbian, which was the top level overview of all the technical, the delivery and the marketing and communications. It was such a large delivery, such a large code base to manage, but we didn't want it to interfere with also some of the great new features coming to Symbian, and it was a hard act to balance. When do we get things like Qt coming, Orbit, DirectUI, all of those wonderful things in Symbian 4, managing the different balance between where do we put our resource. We don't have a huge delivery team, we can't do everything. All of our founding members and those that made the initial contribution are huge companies. We're just a small amount of people, and we have to be very careful how we prioritise. Initially, the fact that people can actually see the source code and that it's in the public domain is coming through on the commitment and the promise that was made to get it out in the open. So the first thing is it's there and it's open and it's available for people to look at. What it means for developers is that they can actually now contribute, and this is where it starts to get interesting. Package ownership, we've already seen some packages moving away from Nokia. We expect that to only increase. It allows even much smaller players in an industry to now have access to what is the world's leading mobile platform. For the manufacturers themselves, I think that it's the start of a whole new world where they actually, instead of being closed companies purely reliant on their own employees to keep innovating and keep coming up with new ideas, it now opens them up to the entire world. It will keep them refreshed, keep them working. Something that we noticed with the preparation for this project was we had to spend a lot of time with package owners in Nokia educating them on what they can expect when the code goes out there. The fact that forums, mailing lists, how to exchange knowledge, their code is now going to be looked at, commented on. Can we look to try and get everyone interacting together in a public space, not just in internal one? So I think for the manufacturers it's going to be really interesting because they get the benefit of the innovation, but also their way of working. They're now really integrated into the wider world of ideas and innovation.
Stay tuned for more at All About Symbian and Mobile Industry Review.